Jordan Love talked about facing off with Aaron Rodgers when the Packers go to Pittsburgh. Here's what he said.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to be on different sides, meeting up. And I know we'll talk pregame and things like that. And hopefully we can exchange jerseys after.
Oh, that's nice. A little jersey swap. Is this more of a must-win for J-Lo or Aaron Rodgers?
I actually think this is a good question. Like, this is a challenge. Like, I could see both sides. Because for Rodgers to go back there and lose, it'll be embarrassing.
But it's in Pittsburgh. He would definitely lose if it was in
Well, when you say, I was going to say Love anyway, but yeah, now that it's in Pittsburgh for sure. Because for Love, this is why I say Love. They're going to be in the hunt. I mean, they're going to be in the hunt for the playoffs, and maybe the Steelers will too. But even if that's the case, for Rodgers to miss the playoffs, lose a game to the Packers, whatever, he's 41, 42 years old. It's not going to be that big of a deal. For Love, them in the playoff hunt, you lose a game to a quarterback we could still have instead of you, I think that would be a bigger negative for him than for Rodgers.
Yeah, listen, this is a game, the lead up to it is you're going to see a bunch of the graphics of, there's a quarterback I'm forgetting, but it's definitely Brady, Manning, Favre, and there's one other. Guys who have beaten every team in the NFL. I happen to find that stat kind of unimportant because you're obviously, John Elway's ineligible for it because he never changed teams. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a cool thing, except for the fact that Dan Marino, John Elway, Troy Aikman, Terry Bradshaw, those guys beat 31 teams, or in Terry's case, there wasn't 31, but they beat everyone but the team they played their whole career for. And is this me a little projecting Patrick Mahomes not being able to ever be on it, God willing? Maybe. So that part to me is less relevant. I do think, here's what I find interesting about this specific matchup, and this is kind of a cousin to when I was giving Wilds a hard time a few weeks ago about his Patriots optimism. When he was going through the schedule, he's like, well, that's a win, that's a win. I'm like, you know that all the fans of those teams see the Patriots on their schedule like, that's a win. For both of these teams, if they are the team that they think they're going to be, this is a game they're supposed to win. If you're the Steelers and you're thinking we are making the playoffs, then your home game against, you know what I mean, a fringe NFC playoff team, you need to win that game. And if you're the Packers and you're in that brutal division, one of the few one of your few road games all year where you clearly have the edge at quarterback, where you're, potentially going to be a road favorite, or at least should be close, is a game you have circled. So I agree with Brew because I take the Packers more seriously as a real team.
Okay. Wow. There's actually surprisingly a lot to say about this. And that's the end of the segment because it's the end of the show. Goes to commercial, roll credits. Okay. First off, this was the one miss by the NFL. The NFL usually does a great job with scheduling and all that. This game should have obviously been in Lambeau. This might be the only chance that you have, Aaron, to be like in Lambeau like this, posing team, and they didn't do it, which is kind of crazy. In Pittsburgh, with the Steelers, it's like, who cares? It's the Steelers relative to Aaron Rodgers. There's no long connection there. This isn't like it's year 2 and he already won a Super Bowl with Pittsburgh or something. Like if this was Tom Brady and the Bucks year 2 with him or something, then then it's like a little something. But like, no, week 8 is going to be his 8th game, I think, unless they're, depending on the bye situation. And it's like, what? It doesn't hold any weight, honestly. Like Lambeau would have been cool. That would have been special. That would have been awesome. Would have been interesting to see the fans and all of that. So the fact that it's in Pittsburgh, it's kind of like, meh. Yeah, it's kind of like, wah. But to now look at this from a playoff standpoint, that's a cop-out to the question. Because we all know, is this a must-win? We're not talking about it from like a must-win from like, well, they're in the playoff hunt and they got to get this win. Like, get out of here. We're going to talk about if it's a must-win for the playoff hunt for a week 8 game in June right now. Like, come on, man. Like, that's not a real conversation. Whoa, the Packers, they're going to be potentially fighting for a playoff spot, so they got to get this win. Yeah, thank you. Like, that's like the real question is like we look at it from like when we talk about a must win Aaron or Love, like the reason why you're having this conversation is because of what it means from a narrative standpoint, right? Reputationally, resume, whatever it may be. Otherwise, we could have this conversation about the Packers versus whoever in week 5, week 12, so it's like we know why we're having this conversation with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. I don't think it's a must win for Jordan Love because you're talking about going up against Aaron Rodgers, man. Like, seriously, I don't care that, like, he took over for him and all of that. It's like, Aaron Rodgers is still the Aaron Rodgers. He is still an all-time great, all-time talent. So, yeah, you know what? Jordan Love is still allowed to lose to those teams, to that type of quarterback. Like, that's okay. That even though he's older and all of that. I don't see it as like, oh my God, this would be so embarrassing if Jordan Love lost to Aaron Rodgers. I guarantee you Jordan Love is going to lose to plenty of bad quarterbacks. If he's in the NFL for the next 10 years or so, ideally he is, and again, I think Jordan Love is great. He's going to lose to some really bad quarterbacks over the years. It's just how it happens. Okay? It's happened to Josh Allen. It's happened to Lamar Jackson. It's happened to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes lost to Aiden O'Connell, right? So I mean, like, come on. It just so it doesn't matter what your age is or this or that, like it's just gonna happen. So I don't see it as like, oh boy, this is a must win for Jordan Love, man. Like, oh, how bad would it look if he lost to Aaron Rodgers? Like, no, he can't do that. Like, no. And then for Aaron, I think if you lose to your team that you left, yeah, listen, it's funny. I'll kind of now do my own brand of the cop out, but I don't see it as a must win for anyone. But I do think it would hurt the most to lose Aaron, because it is kind of like I left this team in like a weird way. My post Packers career hasn't exactly gone to plan, and now the Packers beat me. Like, again, it would have been worse if he was in Lambeau, but like he's obviously not. He's in Pittsburgh. It would feel bad. It never feels good to lose against a team that you used to play for. And you always want to beat the heck when you're a kid. You're like 15, 16 years old, and you're playing. If you originally played for like another dad or another team or whatever, and now you're like on a different team, like you want to badly beat them. So like, I mean, like that feeling of wanting to like get revenge or beat the other team, like that starts when you're a kid. At least it did for me, man. Like, I always wanted to beat teams that I had already played for, and that was at like, a very low level, quite frankly. Let alone at like some of these higher level teams. And so it's just like you always have that in you, and it definitely stings when you lose, because then it's kind of like, yeah, they got the better of me. If Jordan Love loses, it's not like Aaron and the Steelers got the better of him. They just lost the game. If Aaron Rodgers loses and he loses to the Packers, it feels like they got the better of him, and that it'll sting a bit. Now you can chalk it up to being like, well, hey, I'm 40 some years old. I'm at the end of my career. What do you want me to do, right? I think it would be a little different if Aaron was still wheeling and dealing in his prime, and that's what then also makes this kind of interesting. If the Pittsburgh Steelers are balling and they're playing great, and they're, they won 6 games, 7 games, whatever it is, and they're looking great, and Aaron is playing great, right? Like, I don't know, like then things kind of change a little bit, but like, I don't know. I'm interested to see. Hopefully, I remember that they had this in June, because we can guarantee that this is going to be talked about in week 8, maybe even week 7. Like, guaranteed, we know that this is going to be talked about and discussed. And I'm curious to see if my opinion changes by then, because we're talking about months away, literally months away. So what would that be in October, I guess, October, November. So it's like we're talking a long time away, and my opinion could completely change. I could be easily just being like, Jordan Love's got to win, and this is why. And I don't think that'll happen. But if we're just looking at it from a narrative base, it's kind of, the boring answer is that it's not a must win really for anyone. But if I had to, definitely not Jordan Love, though. I'm very firm on that 100%. I do not see it as a must win for Jordan Love at all. Do not care. But I do think that if we're going to, forced to answer this question, forced to play the game, then I will say Aaron Rodgers. But it's not like where I'm just like, Aaron's got to win this game, man. This would look so bad if he lost to the Packers and this and that. It's 3 years removed now, an Achilles injury. It's just like, people see Aaron Rodgers as hanging on by a thread. You got these guys that think Aaron Rodgers is a bad quarterback, and so he's got to win? Like, no, I don't think so. So I don't know. Hopefully that made sense. It's a tricky segment to get pumped for a week 8 matchup in June. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Aaron Rodgers versus Jordan Love? More of a must-win for Jordan or Aaron? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.